Welcome to Dreamy Nights, your bedtime audio story channel. We wish you a peaceful listening experience before sleep. Let's begin the story. I am the only daughter in a long-standing martial arts family. From the age of 2, I was trained in martial arts, and by the time I was 58, I had mastered many techniques, my favorite being the powerful face slap. Somehow, I gained the ability to travel through time and space and found myself in a reversed harem novel I had just read. I became the real heiress in the story, yet my parents and 3 brothers preferred the fake one, claiming I disrupted their peaceful life and demanding I know my place. I fought back literally, using my signature slap, both figuratively and literally, to defend myself from the so-called relatives who tried to bully me. The male lead was my childhood savior and destined fiancé, but he was infatuated with the evil supporting female. Despite my sacrifices donating a kidney for the fake heiress, he continued to torment me, emotionally and physically, under the guise of a domineering CEO persona. My organs were harvested for her, and I was pushed to the brink of death multiple times, falling from cliffs, drowning, surviving fires, and enduring forced miscarriages. Yet I lived, fought cancer for 5 years, and vowed to reclaim everything that belonged to me. Before all this, I was seen as strong and independent, but I secretly loved reading romance novels under the covers, afraid my father would punish me if he found out. Now, living as the heroine in a tragic novel, I understand the injustice these characters face. Despite the abuse, betrayal, and false accusations, especially at my wedding where the villainess staged a fall and accused me of pushing her, I fought back. When the male lead tried to strangle me demanding answers, I struck him down. I owed no one anything. If love made him stupid, he should go get cremated. The real tragedy? She staged the whole act herself. "Don't you dare wrongly accuse me," I shouted. She left, and you can go too. Stay away from me. After dealing a combo of punches to Po Van Nien, the once arrogant man was left dazed. He screamed in pain and shouted, "Tan Nguyet, are you crazy? How dare you hit me?" In response, I grabbed his tie, slammed his face into a pillow, and asked, "Do you give up yet?" He still didn't back down, so I reminded him, "Who told you we had any kind of relationship? You're yours, I'm mine. Don't you see? I'm your mother in this novel." I pummeled him until his face was swollen, his tears and snot streaming down. Honestly, beating up people is a skill passed down in my family for 3 generations. We're professionals. Still in a daze, Pho Van Nien mumbled, "You were pretending before, weren't you? You're too violent." I laughed, crossed my arms and taunted him, "Call the cops then." Oh, right. I forgot, this kind of domineering CEO novel doesn't have real police. The male lead can break half the penal code and get away with it, so why can't I? But shockingly, Pho Van Nien did call the police. When they actually showed up, I realized, in this world, police can't touch the male lead, but they sure can arrest the female lead. All I did was slap him a few times, hardly lethal. Meanwhile, his true love was assaulted and died in a car accident, and yet I was about to be arrested. Seeing me panic, Pho Van Nien smirked triumphantly, eyes full of mockery and cold indifference. Scared? Then kneel, apologize, and donate blood to save Tien Tien. I punched him again. "Why don't you donate it yourself, genius?" He flinched. "We're not the same blood type. You and she are both panda blood rare types. That's how they found out you were switched at birth." That made me even angrier. "So blood types don't match, but you still claim to love her? She rejects your very blood." Then the police sirens blared. I mussed up my hair, tore my collar, and slapped bruises onto my neck and wrists. Don't ask how I've trained in martial arts my whole life. I didn't expect the officer to be a tall, handsome young man who, upon seeing me, lit up like he'd found a long-lost sister. He grabbed my hand, exclaiming, "God, I've been a cop for 3 years, and finally someone reports a case. Don't worry, little sister. Tell me everything. Did this man hurt you? I'll take care of it. This officer seemed kind. I pinched my arm to bring tears to my eyes and nodded weakly. The officer teared up too. Finally, a tragic female lead, who actually calls the police. Meanwhile, Pho Van Nien stood frozen, dumbfounded by the whole scene. Then he shouted, "What the hell is going on? What's your badge number?" "I'm the one who called the police. I'm the victim here," Pho Van Nien growled, snapping the young officer out of his enthusiastic daze. But when the officer saw the bruises on Pho Van Nien's face, he showed no sympathy. Instead, his attention returned to me. I looked delicate, pitiful, like a fragile white flower swaying in the wind. Catching his gaze, I tilted my head slightly, revealing the bruises on my swan-like neck, and turned my finely sculpted face just enough to whisper, "Please, don't look." In an instant, the officer exploded in righteous anger. He scolded, "Pho Van Nien," fiercely, "a grown man like you dares complain while she's standing there clearly more injured? What's your relationship with her? You better come clean or I'll take you to the station." The more I looked at the officer, the more handsome and just he appeared, brave, upright, unafraid of power. "Dear God, I think I've fallen in love," I blurted out. "Officer, how old are you? What's your name? Can I have your contact info? I'm only 18 and don't have a boyfriend yet." But before I could finish, Pho Van Nien stormed over and shoved me hard. Thankfully, my martial arts training gave me a strong stance or I'd have fallen. Realizing the officer was still nearby, I let my knees buckle and collapsed into his chest, my face pressing against his firm chest under the uniform. Looking up at him with teary eyes, I whispered, "Sorry," and then glared at Pho Van Nien. "Wanna hit me again?" Panicking, Pho Van Nien shouted, "Tan Nguyet, get a grip. You're 22, not 18, and I'm your husband. How dare you flirt with another man in front of me?" I was stunned. "We're married?" He threw 2 red marriage booklets at me. I opened them. It was true. A legal marriage with the original host. Hugging the booklets, I said, "Great, don't throw them away. I'll need them when we divorce." Then I turned to the officer. "Wait for me, officer. I'll find you after the divorce." That broke the officer's composure. Blushing, he coughed hard and tried to resume his duties, placing his hand on his chest as if trying to steady himself. Though he didn't give me his contact, I learned his name, Hoak Chin. He reprimanded both of us, saying domestic disputes were usually resolved peacefully, and since our injuries didn't meet the threshold, no charges would be filed. Still, he scolded Pho Van Nien for what clearly looked like domestic abuse. Pho Van Nien nearly exploded. "I didn't abuse her, she beat me." But Hoak Chin simply responded, "Quarrels between couples are normal," to which I sheepishly added, "We just got married today. Haven't even shared a bed yet." "Tan Nguyet, are you insane?" Pho Van Nien yelled. "Yes," I smirked. "I'm an 18-year-old martial arts prodigy, trained to vanquish evil and protect the weak. But after one night's sleep, I woke up as a 22-year-old married woman. To you, Pho Van Nien." He wasn't even worth the trouble of picking up if someone tossed him into a dumpster. And yet, he still thought he was the male lead of some tragic romance? Of course I'm losing my mind. Pho Van Nien was already 28, I don't like men that. Much older than me. After Officer Hoak Chin lectured us for half a day and confirmed we wouldn't start fighting again, he finally left. Seeing the police had arrived and could no longer manipulate the situation, Pho Van Nien tried to change tactics, attempting to talk nicely. "Tan Nguyet, stop causing trouble. Even if you act like this, I still won't love you." "Good," I snapped. "Because I don't like you either. Let's get a divorce." That shut him up completely. "Didn't you say you loved me? That you'd do anything if I just married you?" Sure, the original version of me might have said that. But now? Didn't you just say after we got married you wouldn't touch me? And then you tried to strangle me? You broke the deal first. He tried to explain, but I cut him off. I don't want to hear it. You're a domestic abuser. I'm divorcing you. His face turned bright red. We're compatible. How could you say I'm abusive? Knowing he couldn't win, he changed tactics again, begging, even if we divorce, you promised to give blood to save Tien Tien. You're not backing. Out, are you? She'll die. I was done with this lovesick idiot. Tien Tien's just got a few scratches, no real injuries. There's no medical reason she needs a blood transfusion. Only fools like Fo Van Nien and the hopeless romantics in the Tan family would believe that nonsense. I gave a cold laugh. If she dies, I'll donate $200,000 for a memorial and call it a meal well spent. That hit him hard. I never knew you were such a heartless woman, he gasped. I burst out laughing. Oh, please. I already beat you. Up you didn't realize I'm ruthless? Raising my hand, I offered, want another beating? But don't you dare fight back, or it won't count as self-defense and I won't be able to call the cops. He covered his chest and pointed at me with a trembling hand. Are you okay? I asked, mock concerned. Why's your hand shaking? Got Parkinson's? That was it. He gave up, sighed and whispered, Get out. So I grabbed him by the collar, dragged him off the bed and threw him out of the room. This is my room, he protested. My mom decorated it for our wedding night. I nodded. Great, but I don't have anywhere else to sleep tonight. I patted his shoulder. Listen, whoever's fist is bigger gets the bed. You take the guest room. Then I slammed the door in his face. He pounded on the door, shouting, Tan Nguyet Nguyet! Let me in! Are you playing hard to get? I'll never like you, no matter what stunts you pull. Meanwhile, I changed into pajamas, tied up my hair, and was about to relax with a face mask when the door barked literally. Before he could speak again, I flung it open and then quickly slammed it shut, nearly catching his nose in the process. After throwing Po Van Nien out, I slept soundly until morning. I realized that although the original host was a pitiful character, she lived luxuriously. Her skincare products were all high-end brands, her pocket money card had 8 digits, and she even owned a Lamborghini worth tens of millions of yuan. Despite being the real heiress reclaimed by a wealthy family, her parents, 3 brothers, and even her crush all adored the fake heiress. But frankly, I don't really understand what's so pitiful about rich people problems. All I knew was, I wanted to divorce Fo Van Nien and pursue Officer Hoc Chin instead. Yet when I woke up and went to find Fo Van Nien to file for divorce, he was gone. In his place were dozens of missed calls and unread messages. My parents and 3 brothers from the Tan family were all frantically bombarding me with blame. The eldest brother threatened me if anything happened to Tien Tien. The second brother accused me of injuring her forehead and vowed I'd pay. The third one called me heartless and demanded I stay away from her. Their lines were so cliché. It was laughable standard domineering CEO novel dialogue. Then came my mother, dramatically insisting she regretted bringing me back and demanded I return to apologize to her precious Tien Tien. That, at least, was well written. I imagine the author probably gagged while writing these scenes. The final message was from the father of the Tan family short, and to the point. Tien Tien needs a kidney. If you donate one, I'll give you 100 million yuan. 100 million? Damn, I wish I had 32 kidneys. I'd donate 30 and keep 2. Sadly, I only had 2, which meant I had to forego a fortune. Resigned, I packed up and drove to the Tan mansion. I hadn't planned on ever returning after all. I had money in my account and could go wherever I wanted. But those people had sinister thoughts. They were eyeing my organs. So I drew my sword and sped back. Thank goodness my martial arts master. Dad made me get a driver's license the moment I turned 18. When I arrived, the family driver looked at me with disgust. I tossed him the keys and slapped him. Another servant smirked. Isn't this our second miss? Why are you back alone? Before she could finish, I slapped her too. I'm the one and only miss of the Tan family, call me eldest miss. As I stormed down the hallway, I slapped every servant who had bullied the original host some even twice. I couldn't remember who got what. In just under 100 meters, I had slapped over a dozen people. They all ran away, faces swollen, crying, for justice. It was glorious chaos. I had expected that Tien Tien, having supposedly fallen and needing a kidney, would be bedridden in a hospital. But to my surprise, the entire Tan family was seated cheerfully around the dining table, including the man I'd married just yesterday, Pho Van Nien. True to his role as the male lead, he bounced back faster than a cockroach. By the next morning, the swelling on Pho Van Nien's face from my slaps had vanished, and he had returned to his usual dashing self-aside, from a small cut at the corner of his mouth that made him look like a war-torn prince. Meanwhile, Tan Tien Tien, despite supposedly falling down 18 steps, was miraculously unscathed and cheerfully chatting away, proving once again that evil supporting characters are like cockroaches, impossible to kill. I, on the other hand, still bore the bruises from pinching myself to fake injuries for the cops. The heroine's physique in these tragic stories really is pathetic. Everyone was relieved that Tien Tien had been discharged safely. But the moment they saw me, their smiles disappeared. Pho Van Nien exploded. "What do you want, Tan Nguyet Nguyet? I came here to escape you!" I laughed. "Don't flatter yourself. How was I supposed to know you were here? I figured you ran off last night like a coward. Anyway, I'm just here to get the household registration book time to file for divorce." He froze. When I flashed my palm at him, his face went pale. "You really want a divorce?" "Hurry up," I snapped. "You've got the brain of a goldfish and the spine of a shrimp. Or were you planning to keep me until Lunar New Year?" The entire Tan family stared at Pho Van Nien curiously. Even Tien Tien, pretending to be concerned, asked, "Did she really hit you?" Of course, they didn't believe it. In this house, the original me was everyone's punching bag even. The maids didn't respect her. I was about to feign innocence. Again, when the servants I slapped earlier barged in, wailing to the family that I had attacked them. I didn't let them finish. I dished out another round of slaps, over a dozen, one per person. No one spared. The Tan living room echoed with the sound of smack after smack. "I am the eldest miss of this house," I declared. "Not some second miss. Got ears or not?" The family gaped, then turned to Pho Van Nien with pity, likely imagining his suffering the previous night. Ashamed, he snapped, "You've lost your mind." I calmly slapped him. "You dare meddle in my business too?" Seeing her beloved Van Nien get slapped, Tien Tien burst into tears, but I slapped her too. She collapsed like a leaf in the wind. Her 3 protective brothers rushed to her aid. "Are you okay, Tien Tien?" The eldest howled, trying to hit me. I slapped him. The second brother came to avenge him. I gave him 2. The third brother hesitated but joined in, so I gave him 3. Within minutes, everyone in the Tan family except the parents got slapped. Even their dog didn't escape. It got at least 1 slap. Half the house was left red-faced and swollen. The total number of people I slapped could fill the entire living room. How did I manage to strike each of them so accurately without them reacting in time? Because my old man taught me 18 different martial arts forms, including one called the shadowless palm, a technique so swift it leaves no trace. Once the Tan family realized how dangerous I was, everyone from top to bottom began trembling. They stood in 2 neat lines in the dining room as I casually pulled out a chair, sat down, crossed my legs, and gave them a cold glance. One person's knees already started to shake. I sneered, "Why are you still standing?" Just as they began. To relax, I added, "Kneel." Madame Tan burst forward, yelling at me and pointing at my face. "I'm your mother. You want me to kneel? Aren't you afraid of divine retribution?" I stared at her calmly. "And how would you know if the heavens plan to punish me? You all outnumber me and still can't touch me. Maybe once you kneel, lightning will strike. Me on the spot. My words were so outrageous that even some of the recently slapped servants started chuckling, including the third brother, who stopped laughing the second I glared at him. He knew better. Out of the 3 brothers, he was definitely the dumbest. Tan Tien. Tien glared at me like I was the villain. Correction. I am the villain now, the darkened female lead in a tragedy. When I looked at her, she recoiled instantly, tears pouring down as she dropped to her knees. Sister, I was wrong. I stole your place as the real heiress. I took your parents' and brothers' love. Hit me if you want, but don't turn your back on them. They're your family. I turned on the living room's big screen, connected it to my phone, and broadcast every message the Tan family had sent me. Look, I said, see what your family texted me. You should be ashamed of yourselves. They had demanded I pay for injuring Tien Tien, threatened me, and even tried to buy my kidney for 100 million yuan. This scumbag is my biological father, I laughed bitterly. And this one said I should never have been born. Wow, what a family. You're all trash. I grew up in a martial arts family, my father, a highly respected master. My mother, a gentle, refined university professor. I, their daughter, was both scholarly and physically gifted. Well, not that refined. Maybe just a little crude, but at least. I wasn't pitiful like this. Now I had to suffer all this nonsense. When the Tan family saw their own words on the screen, they were mortified. Just moments ago, they thought they were righteous avengers. Now, they couldn't even lift their heads. I pointed at them and scolded. You claim to be my family, yet you defend an adopted daughter like she's royalty. She cries and I'm the villain. She gets a scratch and you blame me. She farts and you call it perfume. Why didn't you eat her shit too while you were at it? Fo Van Nien, watching me lose it, turned pale and tried to approach, clearly thinking I'd gone, completely mad. Tan Nguyet Nguyet, that's enough. You don't need to say anything more. I turned and slapped him. When your father is speaking, it's not your place to interrupt, Leo. Fo Van Nien widened his eyes, looking at me with disbelief, as if he had never experienced such humiliation before, always basking in his domineering aura as a golden CEO. He pleaded, Haven't you caused enough trouble? I promise I won't contact Tien Tien anymore. I'll devote myself entirely to you. Isn't that enough? Please, stop causing trouble. I was terrified and confused, feeling like my brain, which only knew love, had switched targets. In my fear, I kicked him away, shouting, Stay away from me! My actions at the Tan household were so disruptive that they couldn't help but call the police. When the officers arrived, I recognized one of them. Tears welled up in my eyes as I exclaimed, Officer Hoke Chinna, you're here. Please save me. My parents are trying to imprison me and harvest my kidney for their adopted daughter. I have evidence. The large screen displayed my parents' requests and threats from my 3 brothers. Hawk Chin's face turned pale as he stood protectively in front of me. What are you trying to do? Forcing someone to donate organs is illegal. The room was filled, with dozens of servants who had been beaten and were now standing silently. With the messages and my pitiful appearance, Hawk Chin easily believed I was being bullied by my family. Fo Van Nien, furious, shouted, Why is it you again? You saw us hitting her? She hit us. Hawk Chin smiled wryly. Can I say that in this story? I'm the only police officer actually doing his job. He didn't believe Fo Van Nien's words. There are over 30 of you here, and she's just a weak girl. Could she really beat all of you? Even if there was a fight, the responsibility lies with you. The 3 Tan brothers were enraged. A weak girl? Do you want to see the wounds on our faces before you speak? I hid behind Hawk Chin, tears streaming down my face. Officer Hawk Chin, I have no parents, only a husband, and they all support that. Adopted daughter. They even forced me to donate blood and a kidney for her. Please, take me away. I cried like a weeping willow in the rain, utterly helpless. I didn't believe any man could resist such a sight. Indeed, Ho-chin, though just a passerby, was filled with a sense of justice. He immediately became furious. You people are truly outrageous. He then took all of them to the police station on suspicion of illegal detention and threats, requesting their cooperation in the investigation. Although, in the end, nothing happened to anyone, the Tan family parents and 3 brothers were locked in a dark room by Ho-chin and sternly reprimanded. Only then did I realize that Ho-chin held a high position. He was their superior. Truly, he was the man I had set my sights on. After taking my statement, he escorted me out of the police station. Reluctantly, I held his hand and said, "Please wait for me. Once I finalize my divorce, I'll come find you. You won't hate me for being divorced, will you?" It was all a lie. They forced me. They wanted to trick me into donating my kidney to Tan Tian Tian. But I really liked you love at first sight. Ho Jung's face instantly turned red, and he pushed my hand away, coughing awkwardly. "Please show some respect. I'm not that kind of man," he said before walking off. Even the way he rejects people is so handsome. No wonder I fell for him. After my outburst, the Tan family seemed to realize their mistake. They became much more polite and no longer dared to make demands. Mr. and Mrs. Tan, along with my useless older brother, each transferred money into my account, begging me not to expose the conversation history. They were afraid of being called brainless for trying to take advantage of someone. They thought since they took my money, they had to help eliminate trouble for me as if we were family. Why would I spread those chat logs? Even Fo Van Nien transferred me money, begging me not to divorce him just yet. He didn't marry me purely because I agreed to donate a kidney to Tan Tian Tian. His grandmother liked me, and only by marrying me could he secure the inheritance from the Po family. Otherwise, his younger brothers would have trampled all over him. I told him I could agree to other things, but not this. There's no way I'm staying married. How could I chase after little brother Huo if I'm still someone else's wife? I won't be that kind of woman who cheats. Po Van Nien realized I no longer loved him. His eyes were full of sorrow. "You said you loved me. Why did that change?" I replied, "That was a misunderstanding. I thought you were the boy who saved me when I was little. I mistook you for him, which is why I was instantly smitten. But once I got to know him, I saw he was just passably good-looking and nothing more. In truth, I found him unbearable. I told him to go ask Tan Tian Tian if she still wanted him, she could take out the trash. My blunt words left him stunned, like he was having a heart attack. Still, he stubbornly asked, "So, have you found that little brother yet?" I just smiled without replying. The novel never revealed who he was. According to the plot, the female lead mistook the male lead for someone else and paid dearly, her heart, liver, and kidneys, only to find she was wrong from the start. But she couldn't go back, because she was already pregnant with his child. I'm not like that female lead. I won't fall for the male lead. I'll just pretend that Huo Jung is the boy who saved me. That way, everyone's happy. Seeing me so cheerful, Fo Van Nien's face turned dark. "So it really is Huo Jung? Tan Nguyet? Do you really like him that much? Forget about divorcing me in this lifetime. Even if you kill me, I won't agree to it. Divorce isn't about who punches harder, it's about signing the papers at the Civil Affairs Bureau." I actually tried to be nice to him for once. "Don't divorce me," he pleaded. "At most, I won't let you beat me anymore." "Fo Van Nien, I'd rather beat you for life," I said. "If your brain only knows how to fall in love, you need to get it checked. I'll help you book a neurology appointment." Since he wouldn't agree to the divorce, and I didn't want to waste my time with him, I decided to take the original owner's sports car, bank card with 8 figures, and travel, eat, and shop around the world. What else could I do? It was my first time experiencing life as a rich person, and honestly, some pleasures really do require money. I just didn't know much yet. After having my fill of fun, I went to visit the adoptive parents of the original owner. Back then, after being switched at birth with Tan Tian Tian, the original owner was raised in the countryside until she was finally brought back to the Tan family at the age of 16. Her adoptive parents were farmers. She had an older brother and a younger brother, and the family lived in extreme poverty. Although they couldn't provide Tan Yue with a comfortable life, they didn't mistreat her either. However, Tan Tian Tian didn't want to endure a difficult life with her biological parents, so she threw tantrums and stayed with the Tan family, constantly sowing discord and ruining the relationship between the original owner, her birth parents, and her adoptive family. This time, I went back to give her adoptive parents, older brother and younger brother, a sum of money to thank them for raising her. Don't ask why I'm so generous. It's not like I earned that money. The Tan family and Po Van Nien are the ones providing the funds, so why not let everyone benefit? I even donated a paved road and a Hope Elementary School to their hometown. After all, I can't spend all the money myself, so I started giving to charity, donating to schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. I carried a wad of cash with me everywhere. If I saw a stray dog, I gave it money too. Good deeds upon good deeds. Eventually, someone posted about me online, and in the comments, everyone was begging me to kill them with kindness and throw some money their way. They gave me the nickname the wealth-spreading Guanyin. They even dug up my identity, eldest daughter of the Tan family, with a domineering CEO father, 3 CEO brothers, and even a CEO husband. I laughed at how ridiculous it all sounded, not wanting to be involved except for the money transfers into my account. One day while tossing coins in prayer, I received a call from Po Van Nien. Laughing, I asked if he was finally ready for the divorce, or maybe he just wanted to send me more money. But unexpectedly, his tone was urgent. Tan Yue, come back now. It's serious. He hung up immediately. I realized I had been away for more than 6 months. Maybe it was time to return and check on Hoak Chin, the man I told to wait for me to get divorced. Poor guy, still waiting. As soon as I got off the plane, Pho Van Nien sent someone to take me straight to the hospital. My heart sank. No way was that ridiculous plot line really coming back. And sure enough, it did. With tears in his eyes, Pho Van Nien grabbed my hand and begged, Tan Yue, please save Tian Tian. Her condition has worsened and she needs a kidney transplant. If you agree to donate, I'll give you anything. You'll lose a kidney, but you'll gain my undying love and loyalty. And I'm supposed to want that. Why? Po Van Nien looked awkward. When he failed to convince me, the Tan family stepped in. Yue, please save Tian Tian, her mother pleaded. Can you really watch her die? I replied, sure, let her die quickly. Her father added, don't be stubborn, she's your sister. The irony was thick, since direct blood relatives couldn't even donate organs anyway. Her 3 older brothers chimed in. What will it take for you to save her? Think about how we've treated you the past 6 months. Sure, you've been nicer lately, but before that, you all bullied me and tossed me a few dirty coins. That should be enough to make up for it, I said. Least double it, someone responded. I chuckled, how absurd, trying to guilt trip me with morality. Too bad I have no morals, only merit. Watching everyone so heartbroken and desperate, I decided to earn myself another merit point. I cleared my throat and solemnly asked, do you all really want to save Tan Tian Tian? Do you really care about her? The Tan family nodded, and though Pho Van Nien didn't nod, I could see the concern in his eyes. I took a deep breath and revealed what the book didn't mention. You all know Tian Tian, and I share the rare panda blood type, right? Everyone nodded. But haven't you ever wondered why I have it? I tugged at Mr. Tan and said, because it's hereditary. My father has it too. In fact, all 3 of my brothers also have the panda blood type. If you love her so much, why not donate a kidney? Let her beloved adoptive father do it." Mr. Tan looked stunned, as if the idea had never occurred to him. "That's not appropriate," he finally said. "It affects more than a man's body, it affects a woman's happiness too." Mrs. Tan immediately objected as well. "He's too old. His body couldn't handle it." She pulled him away, and I nodded, "Fair enough, he's already sacrificed. So much for this family." But as they breathed a sigh of relief, I turned to the 3 Tan brothers. "Which one of you will donate?" I asked. "There are 5 of us with this blood type 4 of you and me. If each of you gives 1 kidney, that's 2 pairs for Tien Tien. Why are you pushing all the responsibility onto me?" They were speechless. Fo Van Nien looked at them expectantly. These brothers who always claimed to love their little sister suddenly had excuses. The eldest said, "I have too much work at the company, and donating would require too long a recovery period." He even implied that without work, he couldn't afford to donate to charity. I scoffed. The second brother chimed in, saying he had a girlfriend and needed to think of her too. "We're both women, you understand, right?" he said, then tried to bribe me with triple my allowance. "Women feel for other women." I nodded. "So, the second brother is out." Then I turned to the youngest. He went weak in the knees and nearly fainted. "I can't. I'm scared of pain, and I get dizzy," he muttered. Mrs. Tan ran to his side, crying, "My poor baby's always been frail, you know that." I stared at the whole Tan family, speechless. Then I turned to Fo Van Nien and shrugged. "See? It's not just me who doesn't want to donate a kidney to her. None of them do either. If no one's willing, then maybe it's time for Tan Tien Tien to accept her fate." It was like a ray of light shining down a dark corridor outside the hospital room. Everyone seemed to be saved by my words, instantly shedding their guilt, and starting to come up with excuses for themselves. "That poor child Tien Tien was born under an unlucky star," they said. "She's so young to have such a terrible disease. Even if we donate a kidney to her, there's a high chance of rejection. I've heard the survival rate after the first year is very low." "Exactly. If all our efforts still can't save her, we should at least treat her well and fulfill her wishes," someone added. "It's not like there's zero hope. Maybe we'll find a suitable donor." With just a few words, they created a graceful exit for themselves, leaving only Fo Van Nien frozen in place. You all really just plan to abandon her?" he cried. "She's still so young. Are you really just going to watch her die? She's someone you've known and raised since she was little." Fo Van Nien tried to appeal to the moral compass of the Tan family, but unfortunately, they all lacked one. After all, Tien Tien wasn't their biological child. She's already been lucky enough to live comfortably with us for so many years, they reasoned. It's not that we don't want to donate, but our health is poor. We can't survive without a kidney. "Yes, that's right," others chimed in. "We can't ruin our whole family's happiness for just one child." I clapped mockingly. "Father, eldest brother, second brother, third brother, you're all absolutely right. Helping others is great, but you have to consider your own limits. Live your own life well first, then help others. Sweet and understanding as Tien Tien is, she surely won't force you. Isn't that right?" For once, the Tan family united behind me in full support. Fo Van Nien looked at our family, united and like-minded for the first time, and her face fell in utter despair. "You, all of you." Fo Van Nien dragged his heavy steps into Tien Tien's hospital room. She had no idea she'd already been abandoned by the whole family. Still cheerfully optimistic, she said, "Brother Van Nien, you're back. Did she agree to donate her kidney? Once I recover, you'll take me to all the places I love, right?" Fo Van Nien embraced her painfully and kissed her forehead. "Don't be scared, Tien Tien. Even if the whole world gives up on you, I never will. I will definitely save you. I silently took a few photos of them with my phone. Pho Van Nien. We haven't even divorced yet, I said, though I had already sent the pictures to the Pho family's group chat and tagged his grandmother. Grandma, see? I told you already, Pho Van Nien is in love with Tan Tien. Tien, please allow me to divorce him. Unexpectedly, his grandmother immediately replied with a long message. If Van Yen wants to divorce you to be with that sick girl, then he shouldn't even think about it. Nguyet, you are the granddaughter-in-law I have chosen. Even if Van Yen doesn't want you, the Pho family doors will always be open to you. I smiled. Thank you, Grandma. Now I understood why, in the original story, the female and male leads were always tangled in a push-pull love story running from each other, chasing after each other, getting hurt over and over again. It was all thanks to Grandma Pho playing matchmaker behind the scenes. But this kind of luck, I didn't want it. Grandma, I really don't think it's necessary. Honestly, I was never that into your grandson anyway, I was saying, just before the scene cut off. Pho Van Nien suddenly rushed over and snatched my phone, spouting nonsense to my grandmother and parents. Tan, Nguyet, you've ruined Tien Tien. Are you satisfied now? I wanted to explain. But seeing Pho Van Nien's self-righteous face just made me furious. I punched him in the stomach, took back my phone, and snapped. Haven't seen you in 6 months, and now you've got the guts to steal my phone? Do you not need your hands anymore? I told Grandma that he wanted her approval for our divorce, to free us both and not delay my chance at a second spring. Even though I hit him hard enough to leave him unable to straighten up, Pho Van Nien still acted all tough. He accused me of wanting a divorce to chase after Hoc Chin and called us adulterers. I slapped him across the face before he could even finish. I showed him photos on my phone and shouted, Who's cheating? Who's the real adulterer? Take a good look at yourself before speaking. I warned him to bring his ID and finalize the divorce the next morning, or I'd post the photos online, exposing his affair with Tan Tien Tien. And no, I wouldn't split any assets. He had money, right? But if he owed compensation, I wouldn't let it go. After all, I'm now the goddess of wealth, and I have plenty of places to spend money. I never understood why getting divorced in these melodramas had to be so hard. I dragged Pho Van Nien home to explain everything to our families, showed them the bruises I gave him, and told them I'd been abusing him. His family quickly agreed to the divorce. After all, he was the heir of a big family public beatings wouldn't do. We went to the civil office and got our divorce certificate in under 30 minutes. Holding the little green book, I waved goodbye to my ex-husband with a smile. He glared at me, fists clenched, and said, Tan Nguyet, you'll regret this. I laughed. I regret ever marrying you in the first place. Even though it was the original me who registered the marriage, I still felt unbelievably unlucky. To wash off the bad luck, I invited little brother Hoc Chin for barbecue. Hey, I'm free now. Just got divorced. Are you free tonight? But he turned me down. Be good. I've got work tonight. Let's meet another day. Still, his kind tone lifted my spirits. I replied playfully, I'll be good and wait for you. Now that I was single again, I threw myself into spending money donating, sponsoring, investing in real estate and stocks. When Hoc Chin was free, we'd go on dates. Over time, I had more money than I could spend, eventually making it onto the list of wealthy women. As for Pho Van Nien and Tan Tien Tien, I couldn't care less. One day, dressed up and looking pretty for a movie date with Hoc Chin, I drove into the parking garage. As soon as I stepped out of the car, headlights blinded me. A roaring engine followed, and a car sped straight toward me. A hand flipped upside down onto the roof of the car as the vehicle sped past me. It didn't hit me. Then, it made a sharp U-turn and came charging at me again. With this body of mine competing since elementary school and winning countless championships by 18, I was practically unbeatable. And now, I couldn't dodge a car. I flipped again, landing on the roof of another car. I avoided the hit, but my Lamborghini didn't. It was crushed because I was too fast, and the driver of the other car couldn't react in time. Both the car and driver crashed head-on, the airbag deployed, and he was pinned in the driver's seat, injured all over, coughing as he looked at me. I jumped down and walked over. "You're done for. My car's worth a fortune," I told him. He looked fierce, his forehead lined, clearly a violent man. Seeing me unscathed while he was severely hurt, he tried to strike me. I grabbed his wrist and dislocated it. He screamed in pain and turned obedient. "My car cost over 10 million. Yuan," I said. "How are you going to pay for it?" He cursed, and I twisted his already dislocated wrist again, making him scream even louder. "I can't afford it," he whimpered. Judging by his beat-up car worth just a few $100,000, that was clearly true. If he had money, he wouldn't have to be a hitman. I asked him who sent him to kill me. "Don't say it was an accident there. Our security camera's in the garage." He hesitated, then panicked as I pretended to twist his arm again. "Okay, I'll talk," he cried. "It was your ex-husband, Pho Van Nguyen." I frowned. How dare he? Turns out, Tan Thien Thien's urinary tract infection had reached its final stage, and they couldn't find a kidney match. He planned to hire a hitman to kill me and forge a donor consent form to transplant my kidney to her, straight out of a dark crime novel violating half the criminal code. This world really punishes wrongdoing now. Of course, I immediately reported him. Hiring a hitman and planning to steal someone's organ is a major crime. Pho Van Nguyen was soon arrested. The Peshu family asked me to write a letter of leniency, but I refused. They threatened to bankrupt the Tan family, so I recorded them and exposed everything as murder plot and threats. The scandal destroyed the Pao family's reputation and tanked their company's stocks. Before the Tan family could go bankrupt, the Pao family already was. Though I was unharmed in the assassination attempt, Pho Van Nguyen was sentenced to 15 years due to the severity of his crimes and his lack of remorse. Without his foolish protection and without my kidney, Tan Thien Thien couldn't find a donor and died soon after. Her parents didn't blame me, they only asked that I return her ashes to their hometown for burial, and I agreed. 15 years later, when Pho Van Nguyen was released and visited her grave, the grass had grown 2 meters tall. As for me, on the night Tan Thien Thien died, I had accumulated so much good karma from my deeds that I transmigrated back. That's right, damn it. I transmigrated back, just in time for little brother Hoc Chin to bring me some news. He accepted my confession. Just as we were about to hug and kiss, you asked if I had already transmigrated. How would I know what happened afterward in the story? It's because I transmigrated into the main book, the novel I had read in real life. When I returned, I immediately checked the ending. To my surprise, the plot had changed and now reflected everything I had done. Because of how overly satisfying it was, the book even climbed the bestseller charts. Everyone said the beginning of the story was the usual angst, nothing original. But later on, the female lead seemed like a completely different person, absolutely insane. The whole process was just wild. It was the author's first time writing an angsty story, and they even commented that if anyone wanted to write that kind of story, go ahead, because from now on, they would only write satisfying ones. Reading those words brought tears to my eyes. Everyone else got satisfaction, but what about me? My dear little Huo Zheng, I hadn't even gotten to hug or kiss him yet. My dad saw me crying and asked what was wrong. "Did a donkey kick you in the head or something?" Poor me, still hung up on him. I shouldn't have come back to this house. Can't my dad see I'm in love? Who's the wooden post now? Or am I just a punching bag? No, I'm not mad. This is my real dad after all. While I was still sobbing and my dad was heartlessly laughing at me, someone pushed open our door. A tall, firm figure entered, my handsome little Huo Zheng. He asked, "Is this the famous Elder Tan?" and introduced himself as Huo Zheng. a fan of traditional Chinese martial arts, asking if my dad still took in disciples. I was shocked. Wasn't he the male lead from the novel? What was he doing here? Was I dreaming? I rubbed my eyes, but he was still there. I immediately pulled him inside. So it is you, Huo Zheng. I'm accepting you as my dad's disciple. From now on, I'm your senior sister. Whatever you want to learn, I can teach you. Also, junior brother, are you okay with falling in love with a fellow disciple? I led Huo Zheng to the backyard, leaving my dad behind. A new chapter for me and Huo Zheng had just begun, and this time, there'll be no more faces-slapping drama,